Everybody says they've experienced racism or bigotry. Maybe you've seen it or been in an environment where you didn't feel comfortable, but to actually feel it and have it directed at you, it catches you off guard. And sometimes you don't even realize it happened until you leave the situation and you're like, wait a minute, what just happened to me?
Brothers and sisters! Brothers and sisters! I don't know what this world is coming to!
You're listening to the Black and Blue Podcast, a discussion and celebration of the roles of African Americans and other minorities in U.S. law enforcement. Your host on the Black and Blue Podcast is Dale Peters, a law enforcement professional with over 20 years experience in the business. Hop on board this Black and Blue train of interviews, current events, and pop culture conversations. So get ready. The Black and Blue Podcast is coming at you right now. Hey, Black and Blue fam, welcome to the latest edition of the Black and Blue Podcast, where we celebrate diversity in U.S. law enforcement. My name is Dale. I'm the host. Thank you for joining the show. And as you well know, I usually do this in the studio, but this is a street life edition of the Black and Blue Podcast, meaning I am out on the streets, away from the studio in California, and I'm coming to you live from the state of Massachusetts, Harvard University, in fact, to be specific. So, but before we get into that, and my guest today, I want to ask you guys, please make sure you click that like, subscribe, and bell icon right down here on my YouTube channel. Really helps me out a lot on those algorithms, those YouTube algorithms. And if you listen to me on your favorite podcast platform, make sure you rate the Black and Blue Podcast 5 stars. And be sure you check me out on any one of my social media pages for even more content. You can find me everywhere at Black and Blue US. All right, so like I said earlier, I am now in the state of Massachusetts, in Cambridge, Massachusetts, as a matter of fact. Harvard University, one of the highest of the high learning institutions here in our United States, one of the Ivy Leagues, and I'm here with the Chief of Police of their police department. So everybody, please, without further ado, help me welcome to the Black and Blue Podcast, Chief Victor Clay. How you doing, man?
Good. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Yeah. How you doing?
It's good. It's good. And I just want to correct you on one thing. We are the number one university.
The number one, okay. Yeah, I'm sure States. Yale and Columbia and all them would beg to differ. Yeah. But yeah, most people think Harvard when they think Ivy League, right?
We go at it, though. The Chiefs at Princeton and Yale, the rivalry is real.
The rivalry is real. Oh, yeah. Huh? Oh, yeah. Okay, I bet. We'll talk about that. So, Harvard, how'd you get out here to Harvard? I mean, this is the spot. We're out here in Boston. And are you originally from Boston? Or?
No, I'm L.A., born and bred.
Born and bred in L.A., yep. Huh? Wow. How long you been out here?
Just over a year, 14 months.
Okay, all right. 14. So how's that transition for you?
It's been a thing. I'm not going to lie to you. It's been a thing. Coming from California, people think I have an accent. Right. I'm out here trying to understand what they're saying. They're trying to figure out why I talk so slow. It's interesting. The winter was something to deal with.
Oh, yeah. How was that weather?
It was...
Did it snow a lot?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
To me, it did. I mean, people here are saying 2015 was the keynote year, but it was snow blowing sideways. You wake up one day, cars covered.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Did you have to shovel and do all that?
No.
Didn't even have to shovel, huh?
No. I live in Harvard housing, so they have a service, thank God.
Oh, nice.
I helped a lady out, elderly lady down the street, help her shovel one day, and it was a workout. And I was like,
yeah, I know, right?
Why did I start doing this?
Yeah. And have you driven in it?
Oh, yeah.
What's that like?
Kind of like in California, the first rain, when it's a little slippery, it's like that.
Okay. But they're used to it out here, and then you were kind of like old guy, old lady behind the wheel.
Yes, I'm the one. That's me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you bring family with you?
Wife and daughter, youngest daughter, who's got a job here at Harvard as well.
Okay.
So she's doing very well. It's a transition. It's something I always wanted to do. Live on the East Coast or somewhere different, and I'm doing it. So
you're doing it.
We'll see.
How's their transition? Do they like being out here in Boston?
Daughter's good. She can make friends in 10 seconds, right? Okay. And she travels. She goes all over the place. My wife, different story.
She longing for
Yeah,
getting back to Cali.
Yeah, and I feel for her. You know, I don't let her. She goes back as often as she wants to, finances permitting.
Right.
But I spoiled her, though. I got to be honest with you. When we came out here, it was first class flight.
Uh-oh.
And she was like, I'm never flying any other way. So the air travel bill is double.
All right. Well, I hope sooner rather than later that she gets acclimated to this, because it's nice out here on the East Coast. I like me and the family, we're out here right now, doing our jaunt up and down the coast, checking out. We went to Washington, we went to New York, so now we're up here in Boston. So
Nice.
we like it up here, but we haven't been in the snow. So
Yeah, well, I'll send you
There's
some.
that part. There's that part. So what brought you out to Harvard?
I was on the sheriff's department.
Which department?
LA
okay.
sheriff, for 28 years, retired from there, kind of messed around a little bit in the private sector. Then I got hired at Occidental College as their chief of security, or campus safety, they called it. Worked there for 3 years.
South there in Eagle Rock, right?
Eagle Rock, yeah. Worked there for 3 years. Caltech in Pasadena put out a position for a chief of campus security. Paid a little bit more, came with a nice house, like a mini mansion.
Really?
So I applied for that.
In Pasadena?
In Pasadena.
Ooh, nice.
Literally
I
on the
love
border.
Pasadena.
Border of San Marino.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was.
We used to live there years ago, right there at, on California and Oak, right there, right on the border.
I was right down the street.
Right next to, right next to Caltech.
So you know exactly what I'm talking about, yeah?
Yeah, that's really nice over there.
So could actually walk down the street and feel safe.
Yeah. And you gave all that up for, that's a higher education, higher institution of learning right there too. They, the geological survey and all that's over there, right?
Yeah, right. The Seismic Institute is there, but they're the MIT of the West Coast, so it's the same kind of vibe. But this job came up on a listserv, and I said, Harvard, interesting. So I called the recruiter, and I said, are they serious or do they have an incumbent? And she goes, no, they're looking for somebody from the outside to come and kind of change the department. So I thought, I don't know, maybe it's in my own brain. I said, I wouldn't have read this if it wasn't meant to be. Give it a shot. I'm not going to tell myself no. I'll let them tell me no.
Right.
Started going through the process, and I said my entire goal was to be very honest with them about how I feel about law enforcement, the community connection. And I just spoke to them like I'm talking to you, and they kept calling me back.
Okay.
And so they made that offer in April of last year.
The rest is history.
I'm here.
Now, the department, since this is a private institution, right?
Yep.
Now, how does that work as it being a police department as opposed to a public safety department? Or is there a difference?
Yeah, so they have a special SSPO, special state police officer powers.
Okay.
So we have to go through Mass State Police, and the newly formed Mass Post that all West Coasters are familiar with, California Post. We go through a series of testing and the whole shot, background investigation, the whole thing, and then they approve us and we get powers.
Okay.
But only in the city where you work and the connecting cities.
Okay. That's kind of like USC.
Exactly.
Kind of like USC.
Same thing.
All right. Yeah, because they got to go through the academy and all that over there at USC too.
Yeah.
All right. And how big is the department here?
I got 100 total and 60 sworn.
Wow, 60
So,
sworn.
yeah.
That's like a small department. A real municipal department.
Yeah,
60
yeah.
sworn.
You familiar with the LA Sheriff's Department?
Yeah.
It's about the size of like Marina Station,
Okay.
West Hollywood Station on that order.
Wow.
So-
Wow. And you full service or what?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
everything. Except we don't have a helicopter, but
No, well.
I'm working on it.
You working on it? How big is the campus as far as population and all that?
It's wow.
It's a big campus. One of your
Yeah.
sergeants was showing us how far back it goes. It's a pretty large campus, huh?
Yeah, I don't know if the view picks it up, but we go into Boston. The medical school is actually in an area called Longwood, and it's about 4 miles away. And you have Cambridge proper, and you got a little bit in Alston on the other side of the Charles River. So it's big. It's spread out.
Wow.
So-
Yeah, congratulations on getting out here.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's it. So, what kind of duties is a typical day for a campus officer here?
I wouldn't. I mean, it's not unlike any other school in any other state. It's bike thefts are out of control. Students are back this week, so we saw a spike in alcohol use and drunk students. You know, we call it houseless out here. I don't know what they say elsewhere, but we got a houseless population.
Okay.
That impacts the
Unhoused,
campus.
yes, homeless, transient, yeah.
Sexual assaults, unfortunately, do exist, and a lot of mental health concerns. A lot. So
with the student population or employees or?
Both student and the visitors of the campus.
Okay.
And like last night, up till 3 a.m. because we had one of what we call frequent flyers. I'm sure you had them at your department. She was finally successful in her attempt in the river last night. So
wow,
it was sad, but unfortunate. You know, the system, I'm not going to get political, but the system's oversaturated.
Yeah.
So it's just a revolving door, and she's unfortunately one of the casualties.
Yeah, I mean that's something we didn't deal with years ago as much.
Right.
You know, I don't know what the boom was caused that boom in the mental health crisis. Maybe funding to some of these facilities and these programs, went by the wayside, and then now we're reaping I wouldn't say reaping the rewards, but we're feeling it.
Oh yeah.
Feeling the heat from that, and that's across the country from California all the way over to here to the East Coast.
Yeah.
It's sad. It's sad. My wife works in that field, and it's just. Yeah, it's terrible. All those people that we got to deal with on in the homeless crisis. I don't know what that is. The prices in housing. I don't know what it is, but we've seen a sharp increase in that too.
I think it's layered. I think it's substance abuse, mental health, economics.
Yeah.
People just can't, maintain housing like they, I guess, used to. But my hat's off to your wife, man, if she's in that field, because that's the people we should be saying thank you for your service, right?
For real.
Those and teachers.
Yeah, and teachers, for real, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it is, back in the day, officers used to be able to just take someone up, not even 5150, we used to house people, whether it's in jail or mental facility, without a problem. And then now I guess the ACLU and a bunch of other organizations got involved, and facilities were closed, and then now we're seeing that. And it's not just California, it's out here too.
Bad out here.
Yeah.
So
what was your career out in California like?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it, yeah. I went from, Sheriff's Department, you have to work the jail. So I worked at county jail for 3 years. Then I went to Lenox Station. Was there for a few years. Jumped on a gang task force for a year.
Now where's Lenox Station for our viewers? And
Lenox is just east of LAX.
Okay.
That area. From LAX, Aviation Boulevard, if you're from Los Angeles, all the way to Vermont Avenue.
Okay.
And then from Redondo Beach to Manchester. Look at me remembering my area.
Yeah, see?
It's pretty good. So it was fun. It was during that time where it was busy, a lot of activity.
It was hopping. Yep. And then from Lenox you went to?
SWAT team, went to SEB.
SWAT. Okay.
And that's the highlight of my career right there. Promoted after that to sergeant, went back into patrol. And I was a sergeant for 10 years, and I worked a bunch of units. I don't think I stayed anywhere for more than a year and a half. So I worked a couple of patrol stations, internal affairs, narcotics, gangs. Tried to do it all, risk management.
Risk management, yeah. And there's a lot of that going around nowadays. Liability.
Yep.
That's the key phrase in any leadership position, liability, right?
And I tell you, that actually helps me, in this process, getting this job, being able to say, I don't just talk about it. I actually did it for a year, got exposed in Los Angeles, high, volume stuff. And a lot of guys couldn't say that from what I heard through the interview process. So I'm kind of fortunate that I took that route.
All right. And then you did 20, how many?
28.
28 years.
Yeah.
Wow, you were a lifer.
Nah, I retired early. I was only 49 when I retired.
Well, you didn't go to 50, huh?
No.
Wow.
Had to get out
So you started 21 or
on my 21st birthday.
on your 21st birthday? Wow. And what brought you to law enforcement? Had you always wanted to be in law enforcement? What's that story like for you, Chief?
So, if you could draw the picture of a knucklehead 19-year-old who was in the street racing and chasing girls in LA and Westwood and all that, that's who this guy was.
Yeah.
Had a little crew of friends. We were street racers and just cruising up and down Crenshaw on the weekends, on
Okay.
Sundays.
What kind of car did you roll back then?
I was in the Volkswagen crew.
Okay.
So,
Bugs?
Bugs, yep. California Bugs.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of my friends left for a few months. We didn't know what happened to them.
Mm-hmm.
And they came back like 6 months later, in shape, clean cut, new car. And we're like, where you been? And he was Highway Patrol Academy. I'm a Highway Patrol officer. And I was like,
No,
wait,
no.
what?
No, they're not street racing anymore.
Right.
They're becoming.
So
Yeah.
something clicked in that moment. And I said, I'm 19, about to be 20. He's a couple of years older than me, and he looks like a grown man with a future. I have no idea what I want to do. I was going to West LA College and not really liking it.
Right.
So that was in 83-ish. The 84 Olympics were coming to LA. So the Sheriff's Department did this big hiring push, and
Yeah.
I applied. Well, I didn't get hired until after the Olympics, but I got put in that pool and jumped on board and never looked back.
Never look back,
Yeah.
huh? Yeah. What was the reception like from the family?
I have an uncle that was LAPD,
Okay.
so he was like, don't do it. Right?
Right.
So it turned the family, they're like, are you sure you want to do this? Or is this something, because, you know, back then it was a little different.
Yeah, I mean, the 80s. Wow. I mean, that's
Right.
the height of the crack epidemic. And
It's dangerous and all that.
yeah.
But my uncle said it from a different perspective. Like, do you want to get in it knowing what's going to happen inside the department, how you'll be treated?
Yeah.
And so I thought about it, but I went to St. Bernard's High School in Playa del Rey. Our school was mixed. I'm like, I got friends of all
Right.
backgrounds. I can hang, right? I get in the Sheriff's Department and it was an eye-opening experience.
rude awakening, huh?
Yes, yes.
How's that?
Just seeing this, not even a faint line, but this clear dividing line of us versus them. Something I never experienced, right? I was talking to a guy about this the other day. Everybody says they've experienced racism or bigotry. Maybe you've seen it or been in an environment where you didn't feel comfortable, but to actually feel it and have it directed at you, it catches you off guard. And sometimes you don't even realize it happened until you leave the situation and you're like, wait a minute, what just happened to me?
Really? And these are your coworkers, huh?
Coworkers, yes.
Wow.
Not all of them. I want to make that perfectly clear.
sure.
I got some of my best homeboys don't look anything like me. But there's a few that I can remember seeing their face right now today from 30 years ago, and I'm like, that was one of them.
Yeah.
So
And people would be surprised to hear, not necessarily from the Sheriff's Department, from law enforcement, but in LA, that you would see that. You would think more out here in Boston, because those are the stories that we hear on the West Coast, that Boston isn't, too racially friendly and all
Right.
that sort of stuff. What's your experience been out here? I mean, you're in a different position,
Yeah.
for sure, but
I'd say this about LA. If there's any level of bigotry or racism, you really don't see it in your face because everybody smiles and is polite.
Yeah.
So generally speaking.
yeah,
Out here, and I hope I'm using the phrase right, it's very openly racialized. Like they'll say, oh yeah, he's a Dominican kid from, Somerville. Or he's an Irish kid from the North End, or, Italian kid from the North End, Irish kid from the South End. And so they put that racial or ethnic tag on everything they say. And I'm not talking everyone, I'm talking on casual conversation.
right.
But the neighborhoods are really,
Segregated?
I don't want to say segregated, but you can tell.
Okay.
You can tell when you enter a Cape Verdean community or Dominican community. You go into the North End, they actually have the colors of the Italian flag on the street.
Okay.
So there's a lot of pride in your culture,
Yeah, that's cool.
right?
Yeah.
We don't see that in LA.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I never saw it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we see a lot of Mexican flags out there, and we see, Now you see a lot of blue line flags, and people take those things down because those people that fly those also get targeted when they're not home. I mean,
Yes.
just, for you guys out there being safe, officers, just make sure that don't fly those in military. That's another one. People flying those military flags, they know they got guns at their house.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So just a public safety announcement, public service announcement.
Yeah.
Don't fly those flags. Just be safe. Especially you got family and you got guns in the house. Yeah.
I had a conversation about that blue line flag, and it wasn't very popular here. And
Really?
Yeah, they're popular here, but what I said wasn't
Oh,
popular.
okay.
Because I explained to them how that flag was hijacked. The intent behind it was hijacked over the last 4 or 5 years, right?
Well, some would say during the last presidency. Is that where you're going?
Yeah.
With that? Okay. Yeah.
Flat out yes, right? When you see that flag climbing up the steps of the Capitol building, I don't want no parts of that anymore. And it pisses me off that they took something that belonged to us, all law enforcement, and used it in that way. So
Right.
we took them off our cars, uniforms. It's just something we don't do because it sends a different message.
It does now. It does. It has a different connotation now.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw people going up the steps and hurting law enforcement
Beating them with the
on
flag.
January 6th with that flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
like, that. Yeah.
My mother-in-law, I love her to death. She said, I get a funny feeling seeing the American flag now.
Really.
And I was like, that's a shame, man. That is just a shame that it's become like this.
Yeah.
But
Well, we got some work to do.
yeah,
Yeah, we're not done in this country, but still, it's the best country on the planet. I will say that, but we still got work to do.
For
We're not
sure.
perfect,
Yeah.
and we know that.
yeah.
And we know that. So, you said you got family. Any of them, are the kids involved in law enforcement or want to get
My
be
kids?
like that? Yeah.
Oh, hell no. No. Mm-mm. I got a hippie.
Not
and-
just no, but yeah.
I got a diva and a hippie. They have nothing to do with law enforcement. No, my dad was a truck driver, bus driver. My mom worked for the county in the assessor's office.
Mm-hmm.
And then she actually worked for the sheriff's department in payroll.
Okay.
But yeah, no. Other than that one uncle I talked about, nobody. So
Yeah.
my
Well,
sister though, she came in after me.
okay. At
She's on
the
the-
sheriff's department
Yep.
or somewhere else.
Yeah. So shout out to Yolanda if you're watching.
There you go.
She hates my guts.
Family, is she still,
Yeah.
is she still out there? She's still working, or is she
No,
done
she
too?
retired too.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to where you are, but you're still working though.
Oh yeah, I can't stop.
You got to stay
I
busy.
can't.
You
Yeah,
gotta
there's
stay
no
busy.
way.
Yeah. I mean, when I retire in a couple years, that's my plan. I don't want to maybe necessarily, go like you in another law enforcement
Right.
type job. Maybe do this full time. But
I think you'd be very
yeah.
successful.
Thank
at
you.
what
I
do,
appreciate
so.
that. That's, something along that line. But
Right.
once I pull it, I'm done, Chief.
Yeah.
I'm done. It's been a long road.
What department?
I work for Redlands right now, Redlands
Okay.
PD.
Yeah.
And, 8 years prior to that elsewhere. So it's 28 years.
Yep. You start to feel it in the
Yeah,
knees
you
and
do feel
elbows.
it.
Yep.
I was talking to a couple of your officers before the interview here, and we were talking about the retirement system out here, how long they have to last out here at Harvard, and we were talking about when you're in the 60s and doing that
Yeah.
job, it's
Yeah.
I mean, even in leadership positions, I mean that's still stressful.
One of my sergeants is 76 years old,
Wow.
still doing it.
Well, that's a good thing though. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
keep him.
Is
Is he spry and?
he put some of these young cats to shame, man.
Really?
Oh my God.
See,
And like it's funny too, because you want to be respectful to your elders, right? I'll see him carrying something. I'm like, hey, let me grab that for you. He's like, I got this. Like with attitude, like get away from me.
You got that, huh?
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah. See, if we could all do that. I got some family that in D.C. and my uncle is going to be 90 and he's still driving, and his wife is like 88 in her 80s, and they still walking, and
Yeah.
they took us out to dinner when we were down there. I mean, they still at it. Yeah. So.
I'm lazy. I'm gonna get one of those little scooter things, man. in a
Nah,
couple
don't
years.
do
Yeah.
it cheap. Don't do it cheap. Don't do it cheap. I mean, you look good though.
It'd have some rims on it, but
Yeah,
it'd be-
you look good though.
man, let me tell you, I am fighting the midsection. I try to hit the gym
Yeah.
4 or 5 times a week, but you got to get me some fried catfish every once in a while. And it's all out the
Now out
window.
here, I noticed in New York, it's a lot of walking. Is there a lot of walking out here in Boston? Or?
Biking more than we have walking and biking out here. Yeah, they run the road too. Let me tell you.
Do they?
Do not. It's the opposite.
Okay.
Like California's car country.
Yep.
This is bike country.
This is
out
bike
here.
country, huh?
Yes, and I mean pedal bike too, not motorcycle.
Right. Okay.
So-
All right. What's there to do out here in Massachusetts area?
For me, I'm still on a, like a tourist kind of vibe. So I go to everything like the route Paul Revere took, right? Or go see Bunker Hill, go see where they signed something, or Samuel Adams Museum, things like that. So
Yeah.
I'm doing a lot of that stuff, going to historic spots.
Yeah.
But this is
there's a lot of
busy.
history here.
Oh,
in
yeah.
Boston.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me ask you: are you a sports fan?
Oh yeah.
So-
No. No.
No to none of them, huh?
None of them.
Not the Patriots.
Nope.
Not the
Stop.
Celtics.
No. No. I'll be Lakers and Clippers for life, depending on who's doing better.
You did not just say Clippers.
I did say Clippers.
Oh, my God.
I used to like
Cut the interview. Right.
I used to like DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin when they were playing. They were good.
Yeah,
CP3 was
Yep.
good.
Oh yeah, Lob City was a thing. They never made it past the first round.
Exactly. So, but love the Lakers since Wilt Chamberlain days. So
But what about the Sox?
no,
No, you Dodger.
Nah, I kind of go. My dad's from St. Louis. I've been a Cardinals fan since I was a kid.
Okay.
But I'm not. I'm a baseball fan, but I don't follow it like that.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that's kind of like me. When the
Yeah.
playoffs roll around, but there's nothing else to watch in the summer. So sometimes you just got to go to a baseball game if you want to see some sports.
I'm gonna tell all my West Coast folks, if I can look directly into the camera, go to a hockey game.
Yes, we went to a hockey game for the first time a few years ago. TV doesn't do it justice.
No, it
Yes.
doesn't. It is the most energetic, crazy, wild fan, especially out here.
Yeah.
Fan crazy thing I've ever
They
been
take
to.
hockey serious out here in Boston.
God.
The Bruins, yeah.
Yeah, and it's good. It's a good sport.
Have you been to a Bruins?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Into I tell you who's good though. Harvard, their women's hockey team.
Really?
I'm not messing with those ladies at all. Seriously, they will put
Yeah,
it to
they
you.
went. I think I saw them on ESPN or something like that. They were in the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do not hesitate to check somebody.
Yeah.
It was good.
All right. What's the Harvard life been out here like for you? A lot of dignitaries, a lot of. Yeah.
A lot. So, and a lot of controversial speakers. There's this, I guess this, I don't want to say attitude, but this perception that colleges are all liberal. So it's all left-leaning folks talking. Here, no.
No.
Everybody shows up. And they have civil discourse. They honestly do.
Yeah.
And we had the Supreme Court justices here. Not all of them, but I had
So
Ketanji
right
Brown.
around the Roe v. Wade decision, or.
So,
Wow.
we had to amp up our security for them. A lot of politicians come through. I think Kamala's came out here since I've been here, but heads of state have been out here. Merrick Garland was here during commencement.
Wow.
So, and it's,
A lot going on here.
Yeah.
Once you guys just roll, when that happens.
we actually have a dignitary protection unit.
Okay.
So we have 8 folks, 3 primaries that do the intel and the advanced work, and then another team that go with the client.
Yeah,
It's
wow.
pretty good.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And what's the relationship with? Is it Cambridge PD out here?
Cambridge PD's good. Our relationship's great. Their commissioner, Christine Elo, somebody you should probably talk to.
Okay. Okay.
She's super cool, and she's a good partner. I like her. And their department's cool too. So
Yeah.
we got a Cambridge guy here, a former Cambridge guy here. So he's a liaison between the two, keeps us whole.
Okay. Now let me ask you about your department in particular. Do you find it's more retired guys from other agencies, or anybody that start from the ground up from
Yeah,
here?
most of them.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're long-term folks too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean I think you were talking to the watch commander outside. Been here 30 years. Went through the academy. His father worked here, so there's a lot of legacy folks. But that comes with its issues as well.
Yeah.
So not gonna lie to you. And then the whole culture shift, me bringing my expectations and standards of the job out here is kind of like a culture shock. It is a culture shock to them, and so
How so?
So, on your department, I'm sure a lot of the viewers' departments, simple stuff, right? This is like nothing earth-shattering. You do an activity log. Like you track how many minutes you work in a day and turn that in at the end of your shift. That didn't happen out here. So you could literally work an 8-hour shift and do nothing and nobody knows what you were doing.
Wow.
So
Okay.
I said, no, we got to justify our existence. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. What are you trying to do to us? So
Yeah.
our policy manual was out of date, 19 years out of date. So we got a new policy system.
And lots changed in
Yep.
19 years. What you should and shouldn't be doing nowadays. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and what I've done that has been kind of difficult but also rewarding at the same time is challenge those norms.
Okay.
So this is an East Coast thing too, or maybe just, I don't know. It's an East Coast thing to me. The loudest voice in the room typically is right. Here, when they call it roll call and not briefing out here. In roll call, the loudest voice is right. And I challenge them. I'm like, volume doesn't make you right. So let's talk this through. And so now there's just like a little bit of a conflict with like,
Now,
who's this?
do you allow discourse between
Oh, yeah.
people under you and?
Oh yeah, we'll come in this room right here and have a no rank conversation.
Okay.
I said, but at the end of the day, there will be respect and people
Sure.
will listen. And some of them, you can tell, aren't used to hearing that from somebody like me telling them what to do. But as I say at my house, it's just the way it's going to be,
Yeah.
right?
So along those lines, what's the makeup of your department as far as males, females, different races, ethnicities, all that?
Like most, primarily white male. We do have a contingent of women on the department that I'm proud of. I've got 9 women. And if you figure out 100 people,
Yeah.
trying to increase those numbers. And they're in all, one of my captains, female, lieutenant, several officers, detectives.
Some leadership positions,
Yeah.
all right?
Trying to move them up. Black and brown representation is not where I want it to be. Need to increase that. I think it's a national thing, though. It's hard to find a
It is.
candidate.
It is, yeah. Especially
So-
nowadays, since 2020, it's been even worse. Trying to get people into this profession.
Yep.
But Harvard's got something that I'm sure that a lot of municipalities don't have. A benefits package. Harvard is that
Yep.
part of the benefits package that maybe you can attend school here.
That right there is a pay increase.
Yeah.
If you take advantage of that,
Yeah.
that's huge.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'm taking classes right now, and with pocket change
Right.
because of
yeah.
the benefit. So it's a good deal.
Yeah, it is.
So
So
if
that's-
anybody
yeah,
wants to
look
move,
at
I'm
that.
recruiting silently on this interview.
That's what I'm
If
saying. Are you
anybody
guys hiring?
wants, if anybody wants, send me a message. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So-
What are your recruitment efforts like? Do you actually go out to job fairs and?
No, because we
No?
want to. It's kind of a tight knit community, law enforcement community out here,
Mm-hmm.
and so there's some history with some departments, so they don't want
Okay.
seriously some. You ever see that documentary Waiting for Superman?
I haven't. I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
They talked about passing the lemons. One bad person from an organization gets shipped out to another one. The next thing you know, they're back in your own organization under a different, Yeah, we try to come right out of the academy, and there's a couple academies here that you can, snatch some what do they call it?
Poach?
Self-sponsored,
Oh,
self-sponsored
okay.
candidates. So.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you want to have that opportunity to instill your culture into them instead of them bringing their old culture over
Yep.
to your department, and you
Yeah.
got to kind of break that. And yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. But you coming out here as a new chief, instilling that new culture. How's that push-pull been for you?
It's interesting. I'll
Yeah.
be honest with you. I mean, I don't know if you see on the wall behind you. If they promoted somebody or a new person came in, they do a full ceremony, cake cutting, all that. When I got here, my stuff was on my table, and they said, "There's your office." So I was like, "Okay, it's that. That's what we got going
Yeah.
here." So
Now, had they been hiring from within chiefs? Were you the first outside, or?
I'm the first. No, the chief has always been an outsider.
Okay.
Like the last chief was here for 20-something years. He was from Mass State Police.
Okay.
But they're all been local area people. So
you're West Coasty.
I came in and completely upset this mix. Yeah, so it's the reception. I told them my first year I'll prove myself. Second year, now you got to prove yourself to me. And so it's a little bit.
And still having fun at it though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. I'm glad, and keep up those recruitment efforts and all that. And I'm sure you'll get the people that you need. And if I was still wanting to be in law enforcement after I punch it,
we'd have to see through the PT test, sir. I don't know if we can just take it because I like you.
I think I could get over the wall. That's about it. Run that mile an hour. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And that's what we were talking to a couple of your officers. That's why they make radios and cars.
Oh my God.
For people our age, yeah.
We did. They've got Mass State Police qualification standards at the range where you just kind of stand there and shoot at a paper target. So I brought out a very lightweight shooting and moving thing. I saw everything from the Charlie's Angels to somebody thinking they were on SEAL Team 6, and I was like, wow, we need to
standardize.
Yes. So that's what we're doing right now.
Okay. Yeah. So you handle your own training here at the department? You guys do?
Some of it. Like, we have a real nice shooting range, indoor, so it's great. We got some subject matter experts who are good in what they do, but we go outside a lot because I think that's been a problem, keeping it in-house.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. So, I mean, well, you need the experts that do it on the daily.
Yeah.
And then maybe once they train up your people, you can take it over from there.
Seriously. Yeah. I mean, that's the recipe, right?
Yeah, that's the recipe. I mean, it sounds like you got things in order, and you'll be changing things, shortly.
Yeah. I'll give it another year and a half, and if I don't see the pendulum swinging enough, then I got to start looking at me. Am I the right person for this? So
yeah,
we'll see.
Well, I think you're doing a great job, Chief. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
All right, but you're not done. You know how this show goes. I got a little trivia game here for you, so let me start this up.
Black or blue? 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 Black or blue?
Come on.
We're back, and we're gonna play this little game here. It's a Harvard or not Harvard game. So I'm gonna show you some celebrities, and you just tell me, did they go to Harvard or not? Okay, so this should be easy for you. I'm sure in your year and a half, you figured out
we'll see
who's been here or not. All right. So your first one here will show you Barack Obama. Did he go to Harvard? He did. Yes, he did go to Harvard Law School. Yeah. We were trying to figure out what the other. I think it was Princeton. He get his undergrad at Columbia. There it was. All right. How about Jodie Foster? Harvard or not?
I'll say not.
That's correct. She did not go to Harvard. She went to Yale.
Makes sense.
All right. 2 for 2. How about Tatiana Ali from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Ooh. I'll say no.
That would be
she did.
She did come here to Harvard.
Okay.
Yeah, she did. How about Courtney B. Vance?
Wow. Brown University. No, I don't know. No.
He did.
Are you serious?
He did go to Harvard. Yes, he did. All right, well, we'll get
Where's
you back.
the street actors come from?
We'll get you back on track.
Yeah.
Here. How about his wife, Angela Bassett? Did she go to Harvard?
I would assume so.
Should have flipped that. She did not. She went to Yale.
Oh my!
She went to
God,
Yale.
What kind of power couple is that, man?
Yeah, I mean, wow, Ivy League right there. Yeah, Harvard and Yale. How about Alicia Keys?
Just met her. Yes, she did go here.
All right, good on that. How about Matt Damon?
No.
Oh, man, he's a Boston legend.
I know, but I didn't think he would go here.
Yeah, he did.
He did? Really?
He did, yeah. At least that's what Google said.
Okay. You know what, though? I got to tell you, I don't mean to sound, but they can go to the extension school and get that's what it is.
That's probably, yeah.
So, yeah.
Maybe they did, yeah.
Right.
Maybe he did. That was the whole thing of that first movie was Harvard.
Yeah, Good Will Hunting.
Yeah.
So if he didn't go there in that movie,
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Right? How about Natalie Portman? She's in that new Thor movie.
That looks like Princeton Yale to me. I don't know.
Oh, she did. Maybe in the extension. I'll give you a hint on your next one, Brooke Shields.
Well, everybody else seems to go here, so why not?
Well, you just said Princeton.
Right.
Princeton. She yes. We'll give you yes on that. She did go to Princeton. And John Legend.
I've never heard that one.
We'll say no. That is correct. He did not. He went to Penn.
Another Ivy Leaguer.
Yeah. All these are Ivy Leaguers.
Yeah,
all these are Ivy Leaguers. So that's the theme here. And your last one, you got to get some Jeremy Lin.
Oh yeah, they still.
Yeah,
Insanity.
Insanity. Yep, they love them some. Yeah, because he's the one who put that team on the map. Then did they go to Sweet 16?
I don't know. I know they went to the tournament.
I know they went to the tournament.
For sure. I don't know how far up they went though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you did all right. I mean that's extensions are probably what got you there. Yeah. Hey, I'm just what Google says.
If you ask me what the name of that street right down there is, wouldn't know. That's how new I am. Have no idea. I just know there's a trash truck that broken down up there. That's where you turn.
It's all good. Hey, so on the way out, something for our viewers and listeners, just some words of wisdom from our viewers and listeners on the way out.
You know, I got a young guy that is out here, and I'm kind of mentoring him. He wants to get into the job, and we were sitting there talking. He's listening to music, and he was listening to today's music. And I said, I'm gonna go back a few years. So you're the Mos Def? He's like, oh, Yasmin Bey? I'm like, same dude, but yes, I call him Mos Def. And he's got a song called Umi Says, and the lyrics from that song just resonate, right? And it's like, if you know you're not perfect, but you can do the best you can every day, somehow the goodness will be recognized, right? So I try not to be too ambitious, and I would suggest other people not try to be too ambitious. Stay true to yourself. Give 100%. Expect nothing. Give 100%, and your stuff, it'll come to you. So I don't know what that is. Humility, patience. I don't know. But have that.
Yep. Know thyself.
Pretty much. Yeah. And don't give up on this world that we live in. I think if you're a student of history, this has happened multiple times in the past.
Everything's cyclical. Everything's on that pendulum. It'll swing back.
Yeah.
At some point.
So that was kind of out there, but
no, that was great. I appreciate you.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for inviting us here to your house here at Harvard University Police Department, and hopefully that came out on camera with the view, but we'll go out and explore Boston while we're here, and I appreciate you. Thank you.
I hope you do. There's some historic stuff, and if you notice, last thing, the streets make no sense because they used to be cow paths.
Oh, wow.
Running into Harvard Square where they would do all the trading. So,
okay.
Little tidbit.
Yeah, I noticed just on the GPS, I had to miss a few turns. I had to make U-turns, and I'm like, man, these things come up on you quick.
I missed when we first got in here, I missed the off-ramp. It took me an hour to get back home.
Yeah.
Because it took you somewhere, and next thing you know, and all I wanted was a Big Mac. I mean,
it's the Big Mac. Hopefully you don't eat like that anymore, Chief.
No. I'm all about the salads now.
Yeah.
So.
All right, Chief, I appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you. Good luck with this, man.
You got it.
All right.
Wow, that was a great interview with the Chief of Police out here at Harvard University, Victor Clay. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you for allowing us into your house for this great interview, learning about the university, learning about Boston, learning about you and your career. If you guys enjoyed this conversation just as much as I did, make sure you click that like button right down here on my YouTube channel. And like I said, if you listen to me on your favorite podcast platform, make sure you rate the Black and Blue Podcast 5 stars. And hey, till next time, my name is Dale. This is the Black and Blue Podcast. You know the phrase, stay black in blue. My name is Dale, and I'm out. Peace.
This has been a Maitre D Entertainment presentation.